So I want to talk again about mind control, because they've just done a setup like yesterday that I only realized today that it was a setup. And this is what I've realized. This is something quite frequent that they do. You see, they're trying to create a narrative about me, you see, that I'm crazy, that I've got Alzheimer's, that I'm a liar, that kind of thing, or that I'm just evil. So all these things, they do so many setups to try and prove these things, okay? And this was quite a basic thing that they did yesterday, but when I noticed it, I realized, oh, they've done this kind of thing before. And then I started remembering the other times, you see. So let me tell you what this was. A perp had posted something. A gang stalker had posted something, but it was a gang stalker pretending to be a TI, okay? And they had put one of my triggers very obviously. I mean, I'll just tell you, it was the word specifically, and it absolutely did not need to be there at all, okay? And that told me very clearly that was a perp. And so I put a red circle, I took a screenshot, put a red circle around it and posted it. So look, this is, this is a perp. And then yesterday, I think it was quite late, I was sleepy. I think they were mind controlling me. I shouldn't have been on Facebook. I should have been doing something else that I needed to do. You see, they make you procrastinate. That's another part of mind control. They make you procrastinate. I've said this before. It was something important I had to do, something in writing to do with my case. And but instead I was on Facebook. I mean, that now, anyone listening to this, that should give you, like, if you're worried that you have been mind controlled, that's something to watch out for. If you find yourself thinking, why am I here scrolling on Facebook when I should be doing, X, Y, Z, whatever it is, right? And then I came across a post that said that the person was doing a petition, right? Like for targeted individuals, all right? And this is another sign to watch out for. Without thinking, totally without thinking, I was like, oh, great, somebody wants to help us. And I started to share it and blah, blah. I didn't even read it. And these are the kind of tricks that they do to us, all right? And then today, you see, I really, really believe that I am being helped by spirit. Because when I miss something, it is always brought to my attention, always. And as I've said before, some of the information I could not have known in any other way, all right? To me, that is God. That is guidance from God. Anyway, today it came to me that I should just check the profile of that person. And lo and behold, it was the perp who had done the trigger, like, I don't know how many, 2-3 weeks ago, I can't remember now. You see? And so they tricked me, but they've done it with mind control, okay? And there's other times when they've done that, I'll give you another example. Another perp who is this is the one that was doing witchcraft, all right? And who they sent her to be a honeypot, basically, with my soulmate. Actually, I am noticing that there's a lot of people walking towards this. This looks like it might be gang stalking. If it is, I'll just turn this off. I don't need to make them famous. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and this woman was posting things about Louisiana, and it was basically what she was showing me was that she was signaling to somebody, to the other perps or whoever, that I'm in Louisiana. All right. You know, like giving away my location kind of thing. And then, but she'd put another post that had some information on it, and I'm not even going to go into it because if I explain it, it's just too long. But the thing is, this was information that I had already rejected and decided, okay, this isn't anything that's relevant or important to me. But yet the mind controllers made me repeat it at least twice. And in the detention center, they actually asked me a question about this piece of information, okay? And I immediately, like a little programmed bot, repeated exactly what this woman had posted, all right? And it wasn't true, okay? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't true, and it wasn't relevant to anything that that is important to me, okay? I had already rejected that whole idea. I should probably go into details, but if I do, it's just too complicated. But what I'm telling you is they make you go back on decisions that you've made. They make you do things that you know are not what you have chosen to do. Here's another example with the cats. You know, the cats here. I had made a very clear choice that I didn't want to have cats in my garden. I didn't want to feed them because I didn't want to encourage cats to be here because I love the birds so much, okay? And I want my garden full of birds, and I don't want them flying away frightened because there's a ton of cats here, all right? And yet, as you guys know, because you've been, those of you who've been watching my videos, I ended up feeding, the cat. Well, okay, because one of them looked like it was going to die, all right, and I couldn't not. But today, after that realization that I had about that trick that they pulled with mind controlled, I realized, and they made me go back on this thing about the cats. So I'm very clear now that look, the cats are fine, they're not starving, they're old enough now, they're going out. I don't know if their dad's teaching them to hunt or whatever, but they look fine. And they can go across the road here to the, there's a gang stalker there that feeds the cats. And so I have remade my decision. But I recognize that they made me change my mind on my decision, okay? And I could give you many examples like that, and some of the examples are actually quite tragic when I talk about how my pets died, how one of them died, let's just say. I'm just going to say it while it's on my mind. It's very, very upsetting. It was my hen called Betty, and she was sick, and they basically mind controlled me to give the medicine wrong, and I knew it was wrong, but they made me do it. It's very horrible, and she was special, and I loved her, and I used to call her Betty Booley. you know, a dog had attacked her and I had nursed her back to health. And so she was very close to me because of that. They know exactly what they're doing, okay? They know exactly what they're doing. So I guess in summary, I'm not sure if with mind control you can actually catch it in the moment. I'm not sure, but there is a possibility after the event, in retrospect, that you can realize, oh, right, that was mind control, you know. I'm being distracted now by two things. One is that there's some children shouting very loudly behind me, and it's an abandoned property there, you know. So this is gang stalking by children. I think they're teenagers. And another aircraft. And actually, when was it? Because there was an aircraft when I was filming one of the things, and then after that there were 3 or 4 more that went right over my house, like really loudly and really low. I didn't film it because I was tired of it by then, but no, actually I didn't film it, I remember, because you know, my internet, they've done something to my internet where it's very, 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 very slow. So I must have been uploading the video and it would have taken, I mean, it's taking hours at the moment. But it's strange. Sometimes it will take hours, and then another time, like the 2 that I did this morning or earlier today, they didn't take long at all. But then other times it takes a long, long time, and I guess that's when the perps are hacking. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on these things. I just noticed the difference. Anyway, so I guess in summary, I want to say, you know, if you are under mind control, you might find that you are forgetful of things. You might find that you have gone back on a decision that you'd made. And it's important, if you're worried about it, to actually think about those things and think, okay, you know, have I gone back on a decision that I've made? You know, and every action that you take, every action that you take, just really think, okay, just double check yourself, you know. Okay, did I mean to do that? Did I mean to say that? Is this what I want to do? And I know it's tedious, but in this situation, it's our best defense, really. I would also say, I tell you what's helped me a lot, and I don't really care if anyone believes it or not, but I prayed for discernment. Like very early on in this whole Holocaust, I realized that what I was going to need was discernment, because there was so much trickery and smoke and mirrors and that kind of thing, right? And I prayed and prayed and prayed for 100% discernment, and it's not that I've suddenly become more discerning or anything like that. It's that when I miss something, I always get a message about it. I get guided, I get guidance. And as I say, sometimes it's, for example, about this, you know, when that time when I was being attacked by witchcraft and I didn't know what it was, you know, that was God helping me, because I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what it was. And he showed me that it was witchcraft, and I said, well, who can be doing this to me? And he showed me a picture of the woman, and I didn't know who she was. But then later on I did find out, and she's this woman that I've just talked about earlier, who was sent as a honeypot to my soulmate, and who's actually a real witch. That's what I was shown. And anyway, pray for discernment and just question everything. I would say question everything. I mean, let's face it, we have to question everything, not only just in our own minds, but goodness, on the TV, on the, posts on Facebook. I mean, there's so much smoke, mirrors, trickery, lies, just blatant lies, right? And I think we all need to realize that God is our only hope here, all right? God will get us through this, and we really need to have faith in him and ask for help, pray for help, and pray for discernment.